What's up, guys? I'm going to quickly give you an overview of the Georgia Store Regional. We're going to talk about the deck participation rate, top 2 lists. I'm going to give you a recap of each match, and then we're just going to, at the end, have a little bonus and talk about the ban list. Okay, here's the leader participation for each deck. We only had 10 people show up to the regional in Georgia. If any of you guys have been to a regional in your state, I'd be interested to hear how many people showed up to yours. Let me know in the comments if you can. Out of the 10 people that showed up, we had 4 Halo Coups, which, I mean, no surprise. Lots of representation for Halo Coup. Next up, we had 2 Majin Boos, also not a surprise. Other than that, we had 1 SSB Yellow Vegeta, 1 Android player, 1 guy brought a Giblet deck, shout out to that guy, and then we also had a Broly deck. Surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, didn't see a single red deck. I think that, Jiren's viable, but didn't see him here. We also didn't see a single black deck, so a couple colors missing representation here. I'm going to show you guys the rankings for each deck. Halo Coup took first place at this tournament. Majin Buu took second. Probably not a huge surprise to any of you guys. The good decks that are meta, that are getting cards banned from them, perform the best. So probably not a surprise to anybody. We had SSB Yellow Vegeta in third, Halo Coup in fourth, Androids in fifth, Broly in sixth, 7th and 8th went back to Halo Coup. Giblet got 9th, and then Majin Buu also took 10th as well. Okay, next we're going to go over the top 2 deck lists. Here's Halo Coup. This is the deck that I played and got first place with. Really, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this. There's nothing innovative here. You've probably seen this deck list before. We got 2 Final Hope Slashes and then Satan City package, 1 Zeno and 1 Vegito, which those are very important. And I would also say that seeing both of those in a couple of matches was probably the reason that I won those matches as well. So 2 important cards to add to the package. Okay, here's the list for Majin Buu. I talked with the player that got second place with this deck, just for if you wanted to add any comments about anything special about it. Main thing that he said is just, the only really tech thing in this deck is the 2 of the Pui-Puis. Notable targets for that card are Orange Star High School against Halo Coup, and then also targeting Planet Vampa in the Broly deck. It's also a pretty good value for that card. His only other comment was that the SCR Friezas seem to put in a lot more work than he expected them to, so also a good card. Okay, let's get into the match recaps. With 10 people in the tournament, we only had 3 rounds, so I'm just going to give you 3 quick rundowns of things that I think were important from the 3 rounds that I played. Match 1 was a mirror match, Halo Coup versus Halo Coup. I went second this round. I prefer going first. I pretty much picked to go first in all scenarios. Unfortunately lost the roll, had to go second this time. The first couple turns, back and forth, were pretty much an exact mirror of play at 1 drop, pass, play Videl, turn 2, swing Videl, combo, pick something up, pass, and then turn 3 was pretty much play Great Saiyaman to get rid of the other person's Videl, and then play your own Videl, swing Videl, pick up Saiyaman, do it again next turn. It was pretty much that for like the first 3 turns, which was pretty funny. It was like an exact mirror. After that, not too much to note. I think the key points from this match are 2 things. One is, as I mentioned earlier, I saw my Zeno. So turn 6, I was able to Zeno a significant amount off of his board after he spent the previous turn clearing my board manually. Turn 7, he got rid of my Zeno, but I was able to play a Vegito on turn 7, which was huge. The other thing that really broke this game open was that I saw my Final Hope Slash and he didn't. Once I had Final Hope Slash, it pretty much turned into a loop of raw play 2 cost Videl, swing, grab something from drop, play 1 cost Videl, swing her, Final Hope Slash her to 25k, bounce the 2C Videl to hand, activate the 1 cost Videl ability after that, bounce her to my hand, bring out the 2-cost Videl again, swinger, pick up Final Hope Slash, then swing lead after that, Final Hope Slash the leader to 40k, bounce the 2-cost Videl back to my hand so I have her next turn, and then any leftover energy is, play Peel Off, pick up Final Hope Slash again. You know the rest. Okay, on to the Majin Buu match. Not a whole lot to say about this one. Key points are I found 2 Peel-Offs pretty early. This allowed me to cycle Peel-Offs throughout the entire early game, protecting my life at all times, staying very high life for a long time, and keeping my hand size low to avoid getting too much hand rip from the Bobbities. I think my opponent only saw like one of his Bobbities, which was good luck for me. Defending my life early, however, made this matchup very difficult for my opponent to close the game out. I also had a hard time closing out the game until I drew into my Final Hope Slash again, so you'll probably notice a pattern here. Final Hope Slash is a very impactful card. Once I drew Final Hope Slash, I was able to start generating enough value to swing over the top and eventually take out the Majin Buu. Quick shout out to Pui Pui. He did make this match a bit more difficult. Destroying my Orange Star High School made it a bit harder to run the Satan City package engine, including removing his battle cards with Great Saiyaman. Pui Pui is also a blocker, which admittedly I forgot about at one point, so that also made things a bit more difficult. Just something to look out for. Right, the finals matchup was another Halo Kumir. This video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to keep this one short. I went first this game. I played defensive pretty much the entire time. My opponent was trying to starve me out. I kept my life total high. At one point I had him at 3 life while I was at 6 life. I ended up winning due to the time rules in this game. So I had 4 life at the end, he had 3 due to, the Bandai end of game procedures. Not sure how the rest of the game would have went. He got rid of both my Zeno and my Vegito, while he still had Vegito in hand. But my hand had short hair and peel off and Hope Slash loop, so I'm really not sure how the rest of it would have gone. It was pretty close. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments about what you think about end of game procedures in this, because in the nature of Halo Q versus Halo Q, with as much sequencing as goes on in both of those decks, it's almost inevitable that it ends up going to time in a 35-minute time limit scenario. Last but not least, the bans. I think the peel-off nerf is huge, especially after just playing Halo Q in a tournament. This card just generates so much value. Everybody knows it. Everyone's been asking for it to get banned forever. I'm still gonna miss it because I play blue and it was so good to play with it, but it needed to go. I won't disagree with anybody on that. I think Halo Q got a big hit with this one, so we'll see how it turns out afterwards. And I think that Bobbity, getting rid of Bobbity also hits the Majin Buu deck pretty hard. However, if you guys have seen the set list for the manga set, there's a lot more yellow Majin Buu support stuff coming out, so we'll see how it shakes out. I don't really have any predictions, but I am excited to see where it goes from here. Rest in peel-off, and on the way out, enjoy this clip of Bobbity getting obliterated. See you guys next time.